Hello everyone, welcome to Aquashop WASABI Aquarium channel. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a Riccia aquarium with lots of air bubbles. Have you guys ever used Riccia before? This aquarium plant might not be familiar for those of you who started making planet aquarium recently. These days we don't see many layouts using tons of Riccia unlike a few years ago. But for someone who's been making planet aquariums for a long time, Riccia brings back the nostalgia for sure. Like for myself, about 20 years ago, the very first time I saw a picture of an aquarium with tons of Riccia inside, they left a huge impact in my memory. Incredible amount of air bubbles on Riccia made them look so beautiful, like a hoard of pearls were planted on the bed of the aquarium. The picture I saw that day actually motivated me to start making aquariums in the first place. But on the other hand, Riccia is a one hard plant for people to use. Since Riccia are floating weed, so many problems come along with it. Riccias are usually supposed to be floating on the surface of the water. So to have them on the bottom of the water, it is very difficult to do so. They are very interesting though. If someone asked me to name 3 of the most beautiful aquarium plants I know, Riccia will be on that list. The leaves are beautiful light green color, and they get even more beautiful with air bubbles. But funny enough, if someone asked me to name 3 aquarium plants that I hate, Riccia will also appear on that list. That should tell you how beautiful, yet how difficult to handle this plant is. If you find this interesting, I want you to try using this plant at least once. If you try to take care of this plant once, most of the people would say that they wouldn't want to deal with it for a while. But like I said, if you're passionate about making beautiful aquariums, then there are no other plants like Riccia that could help you achieve that goal. If you could put up with all those problems, they really are an amazing plant. So before further ado, I'll get right into today's topic. The second half of this video will be focused on how to use floating weed Riccia as a foreground plant, so stay tuned until the end. So first, I'm going to list 3 good things about Riccia and also 3 bad things about Riccia afterwards. Good thing about Riccia. The first one is that they could attach huge amount of air bubbles on their leaves. This is incredible. As long as you have the right equipments for it, anyone could achieve this. Secondly, they grow big in such a short amount of time. This means you won't have to wait a long time for them to grow. Last but not least, despite all the problems they bring, they're super easy to nurture. About this, of course having the right equipment is a must. But as long as you have everything you need, they're very easy to nurture. Next, the 3 bad things about Riccia. Cons of using Riccia, I must say. The first reason why they hate it is that they get peeled off very easily. Let me explain. Since they're supposed to float, I usually use string to attach them to stones or else inside of the aquarium. But like I said, they grow so quick that once they grow big, sometimes they start floating even if they're attached to heavy objects. Secondly, they're impossible to recover, which means once you place Riccia inside of an aquarium, they can't be removed completely. Riccia has such small leaves which peel off very easily and get stuck literally everywhere in an aquarium. Those peeled off leaves will start growing again, and it becomes impossible for us to remove every single one of the tiny Riccia leaves out of the aquarium. So if you want to get rid of Riccia, you have to reset and redone the entire aquarium. Though some people might like this about Riccia, because even those peeled off leaves will be able to attach air bubbles on them, so if everything goes right, every plant that those leaves get attached will also have air bubbles on them as well. I would say this one is totally debatable. But anyway, if you want to remove only Riccia out of the aquarium, it is impossible. Just keep that in mind. Last reason, and it's the equipment. Previously I said they're super easy to nurture, but that's only if you have all the equipment you need. They need strong and bright lighting, and carbon dioxide has to be added in order to grow them correctly. The amount of equipment you need for this plant is definitely way more than the other plants, and also the water inside has to be soft water. Though the water isn't a huge problem, compared to the other two things you have to be careful about. If you don't have these equipment already, it might cost you a few extra bucks. Alright, next up, I'm going to teach you how to sink Riccias in the bottom of the aquarium bed. Okay, first, have the Riccia ready. This time, I'm going to use cultivated Riccia, but you could use whatever you want, like the ones which were nurtured in water or else. Next up, the rocks, which get attached to the Riccias. This time, I'm going to use Aqua Design Amano, aka ADA's Riccia stone. Most of the Riccia stones are super thin like these ones. You could attach Riccia to them and sink them so they won't float up. What's good about these is the size and shapes are super random, which means they create a natural look, and won't look out of place in an aquarium. Although if you don't own Riccia stones, you could just find thin stones like these anywhere and use those stones as well. Next up, the Riccia line. In this video, I'm going to use ADA's Riccia line, but if you don't want to purchase these either, you could replace them with something like a fishing line. If you could take a look at these Riccia lines, these strings have similar color to Riccia, so they merge with Riccias. Not only they don't stand out, but because of how thin they are, it's easy to tie up when attaching Riccias and the stones. These are very convenient, but fishing lines will get the job done as well. Use whichever you'd like. And finally, if you got scissors nearby, they for sure make the process go easier as well. There's another way of sinking Riccia stones, which is called Riccia net. I don't have them with me right now, but if you want to go check that out as well, links are in the description. What's good about Riccia net is that you just have to stick Riccias into the net, and once it's done, you just gotta flip it and place it on the bottom of the aquarium. But at the same time, they do look out of place. Once the Riccias start growing, they won't bother much, but until then, they do look super unnatural. Overall, I'd choose appearance over convenience. So in this video, I'm going to use the Riccia stones. Okay, I'm going to attach Riccia to these Riccia stones. Keep in mind, if the stones are dry, Riccia won't get attached correctly, so wet the stones before starting this process. This way, Riccia gets stuck to the stones easier, so I highly recommend you to do this as well. Since I'm using cultivated Riccia in this video, I'm using a tweezer to attach them, but if you are using chunks of Riccias, you could go through this process with your hand as well. When attaching Riccia to Riccia stones, remember to attach them thinly. Also, the edge of the Riccia stones has to be hidden with Riccias. Hiding the entire stone with Riccia will make them look more natural. Alright, just like that, we're done with this part. Next, I'm going to stick them together with Riccia lines. Like I said, they're thin and easy to deal with. Alternative options sometimes could be too slippery and won't attach correctly, but these are sturdy and will attach them together perfectly. Thicker strings move around and won't stay still, so even using alternative options, use the thinnest ones you own. It's important to hold the side of the Riccia stones when going through this process as well. Holding the bottom or top of the Riccia stone will not only ruin the appearance, but also will cause Riccia to grow poorly. So if you could, hold on to the sides of the Riccia stones. If you can avoid holding the top part, then hold lightly as possible. Make sure not to kill the Riccia. First, I'm going to wrap it vertically. Make the gap between strings as tight as possible. I'd say around 3mm gap each. Having a tighter gap will benefit you since they won't tear apart easily. So don't make the gap more than 5mm each, and be careful not to rush when doing this. Once you go all the way to the opposite side of where you started from, go back and do the same thing again. But this time, wrap them in those gaps you had at first so they'll hold better. If you reach to the side again, you could tie them up for now. Make sure to tie them on the side so they'll give the tension and won't move around. Cut the extra strings off as well. Once you're done wrapping them around vertically, do the same thing but horizontally next. Wrapping them both directions give them stability, so it's recommended. Just like when we wrap vertically, wrap them with a string gap of 5mm or less, and the second wrap should fill the gap. The gaps between strings are tighter the better. So if you find gaps that are bigger than usual, go over there again and make sure the gaps are tight. The loose ends will cause the Riccia to fall off easily. So be careful when going through this process. And again, tie the Riccia line on the side. Bring all the tension to that point to really make the wrapping tight. And here we have it. The wrapping part is done. Once you get the hang of this process, you'll just have to make however many you need for your aquarium, and you're all set. Before you drop them in your aquarium in a hurry, make sure to shower them softly with water, so the loose Riccia leaves won't fall apart as soon as they touch the aquarium water. How did you like the video? In this video, I got to show and teach you good and bad things about Riccia, and also how to plant them in your aquarium. I'm going to make a video on how awesome they look in an aquarium another time. I talked about 3 bad things about Riccia earlier in this video, but honestly, I feel like people seem to hate on Riccia before even touching them at all. I bet some people are staying away from this plant just from rumors you hear, like they are hard to deal with, or no one used them, etc. But I want you to give this plant a try at least once. In my opinion, no other aquarium plants come even close to how beautiful Riccia looks in planted aquariums. Yes, you will experience all those bad and annoying things about Riccia listed earlier. But experiencing the whole process is much better than just avoiding them because of some rumors online. Some people might even think all these work aren't annoying at all. So try them. It's such a waste of an opportunity to hate it before you try it. So if you've never tried to use Riccia before, I highly recommend you to do so. Though if you have a 180 centimeter aquarium like this one, I would say don't even try at all. The process will take years to complete. But if you own a smaller aquarium like 45 or 30 centimeter ones, even if you fill the entire bit of aquarium with Riccia and their stones, it's not that hard to accomplish. I would say Riccia is better for smaller aquariums. I really do recommend Riccia for smaller aquarium owners. Even if you got a 60 centimeter aquarium, you can still use Riccia with not much effort as well. About Riccia, I'm leaving links in the description on more detailed pages in writing, so if you are interested, you should go check that out as well. Some of the equipment for Riccia that you could purchase online are also in the description. Check them out if you'd like. Please leave a like if this video helped you even a little. If you have got any questions on this topic, or have requests on more video topics, please comment down below. I wouldn't be able to reply to all the comments, but if I see many questions on the same topic, I will make another video answering those questions one by one. I will keep making videos that could help you guys and solve any questions you have, so hopefully you guys will visit this channel again. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.